This was actually like when we looked at our key metrics at Hotjar, one of our key things we'd look at was a happiness indicator for an area of the product. And we would do that by looking at all the feedback submitted to do with that product area in a given time period, and then we would rank each, we'd get the sentiment out of it and say, right, give it a score. So we'd be able to see, okay, last month we made these changes to heat maps, and oh, look, the happiness score has dropped down. Like, let's investigate that. We want to explore. So those reports would be generated automatically off the metadata. Same for like the frequency. A really important report that I'd look at a lot was like, not just how often has something occurred, but like, what's the trend? So like, has something started spiking over the last 3 months? Is it becoming more significant? What we found was it actively provided feedback, so feature requests, support tickets, things that you haven't, asked the customer for. They've just told you, they've reached out. That has a very high level of intent, which is really interesting, but tended to skew more towards solutionized requests. Like, hey, I have this problem, this bug I spotted, or I want this feature, or you need this capability, which is useful, but you also need to be conscious that that's where you're capturing it from. Because you only capture that feedback and you're not also capturing the passive feedback, you run much more of a risk of kind of getting that loud customer, or the loudest voice shouted the loudest, kind of dominating that feedback that you're collecting. Because one of the challenges we had at Hotjar, and it's the same at Levity actually, is we have a relatively diverse set of persona using the product and getting value from the product, which is great. But sometimes they actually have contradictory feedback. They want different things. And so, like, I'll give another example from Hotjar. Like when I was talking about that always-on data collection, we had a persona that would really in product teams, right? Because they're constantly monitoring what's going into a product. We had another persona who actually represented a higher percentage of the user base in CRO optimization experts and digital marketing consultants who didn't want that. They wanted to work in projects and have snapshots that would collect for a fixed time period or volume. And so we had these two directly competing sets of users. And if you can't, we did eventually unpack that and figure out who we're building for and which of them has which set of requirements in the feedback we're collecting. But I think we could have done that a lot sooner. And if I did that again, I'd be straight away right from the base level of the taxonomy and the structure would be like, make sure you have the ability to identify who's saying it where possible. And make sure you can segment based on that so that it makes that prioritization much, much easier.